Well, I don't have a hostie to make my cuppa for me tonight, so I had to make my own. Right, what we're going to do here, we're setting up for a flight, and tonight's flight is going to be Launceston to Melbourne. So I have my trusty little iPad with me, where I'll be using Oz Runways and collecting all the data. I'll be also setting up internal flight diagnostics, the following program, and I'll just bring it up. Alright, here's the story, people. We've had a change of plans. Instead of going from Launceston to Melbourne, we're now going to fly from Sydney to Launceston. We have our screens all loaded up. Everything looks really flash out there. I'm now going to input our data. I have Oz Runways running on my little iPad here. And what I really want... Sorry, that's how, right. Yes, I'm on Oz Runways. And we're going to look for, we have integration here with better still, we'll just go for Dropbox. There is Dropbox integration involved with that system now, so but it's easier just to go through Dropbox. Now if I go to my flight sim stuff, my guides and charts in Australia, I'll have a YSSY to YMLT, and so there's our login. So ident, our position reference is YSSY, and our gate is origin. I have all the engines running at the moment. Everything's all cranked up, ready to roll. What I broke wasn't on. We've got 5 degrees of flaps. Yeah, about the only thing I haven't done at the moment is trim the aircraft, but we'll do that as soon as we get our information in our CDUs. So our origin is YSSY, and our destination is Launceston, YMLT. I always put in a fictitious flight number. Activate that. Now our departure will be from runway 34 left, and we'll be heading down to Wollongong, so we'll do a WAL 9, and our arrival at Launceston will be on 14 right. So if we have a look at our legs page, we've got Wollongong there, and then we've got a straight runway 14R. So we want to plug in NWA right there, which is the NDB for Nowra, I imagine. Yes. Then we have MCO, which would be Malakuta, the VOR, Sunob, and then STH, and then we'll have our runway 14R straight after that, so we should not have a discontinuity now. Position airport. Yep, that looks all pretty good. Oh, what did I do there? Okay. So if we now go to our performance, plug in our performance data. There's our zero fuel weight. We're going to have 2 tons of reserve. Our cost index this time is going to be 45. We're going to be flying at 30,000 feet. Our N1 limit is 29. It's just roughly for this. Our takeoff, yeah, we're going to have to look at this because it's now screwed up our setup here. So we've got 5 degrees of flaps, and our CFG is 26.2, giving us a trim value of 4.32. V1 of 133, V2 of 134, V2 of 142. So we plug in our 142 here. These are all on. Our heading will be runway heading and takeoff, which should be 340. Move to 10,000 there, so we're good to go. Everything looks good there. We'll go back to our legs page and let's have another look at this. Looks to be we've got a bit of a screw up here. Yeah, and it's always in the actually, I don't think I'm going to worry about that. It's not that bad. I could probably go from SY straight to Golf. Actually, I think we will change that. Take that loop-de-loop out of it. Okay. So that's looking good. Now, QNH is 1012. And everything else looks good to go. So we'll go back to our instructor station. We'll have a look at what we've got. Ground power, pneumatic power is off. Map is showing us in Sydney. Zero failures, weather's good, weight's fine. We have about 100 odd passengers on board and about 5,000 kilos of cargo, and we're currently carrying 9.5 tons of fuel, which is way over the limit, way over the normal limit. Our route's good, cockpit setup's good. So we're basically good to go. So what I'll do now is I'll bring up our Oz runways. I'll put those legs in the Oz runways. So we've got YSSY, and then we've got Wollongong, and what's up NWA, MCO, Sunob, and South, and YMLT. Turn. Route looks good. Go fly. Okay, so there's our Oz runways. There's our route, and we can tell from this is an interactive page as well. It'll give us all our details on our flight. It goes along, and we also have a nice. Oh, there's a nice 747 taken off over there. It has a VSI inbuilt into it as well. Now I have a great little setup. Oops. As I said, I have a pretty good little setup here where I can leave it on the side here. So we are basically good to go. So everything looks fine there. Turn our lights down a bit. Enjoy the flight. We'll just go over our stuff. We're at 17,000 feet, doing 243 knots, and we're 5 nautical miles from Wollongong, where we'll then change course to about 192. Our 182 is correct on our wet compass, and our route legs are correct. We have a look at our progress page. We should be hitting Gulf at 15,200. Oh, sorry, Wollongong at 20. Sorry, that's 2025 Zulu. And our fuel at that stage should be 6.8. We're 1.7 nautical miles from Wollongong, and our fuel is 6.8, so we're spot on at the moment. And now we're kicking off to the right to a change of 195 degrees, and our wet compass is doing the turn as well, which is good. We're now at 21,000 feet. Our speed's up to 243. Not doing my checks. These are all my checklists, and actually we can go through a checklist. We'll go through an after takeoff checklist. So we've got a before start, before push, before taxi, before takeoff, a climb. Okay, pressurization is checked. Our start switches are back to normal. So we turned them off before. Our APU is as required, well it's off. And our flaps are up and no lights. That's our climb checklist. When we get down a little bit further closer to Launceston, we'll be going through a descent checklist. So I'll keep that one nice and handy. That's a handy little place to be able to put our checklists. That's a standard Flight Deck Solutions gear. Okay, we're at 29,000 feet. We're getting very close to our top of climb, and we're about 3.8 nautical miles away from Nowra at the moment. We'll be doing our left-hand turn very shortly. And we're coming up on 30,000 right about now. Oh, I can see now right behind, underneath us. There's the airport directly under us. And we've just made a heading change to 184 degrees, and our wet compass is showing that, and our other compass we have here too, the ISFD. So we now have 30,000, we've levelled out, and our speed is up because we're not using auto throttle. We're now at our designated flight speed of 290 knots. Our ground speed is 445 knots. And our true airspeed is 444 knots. We're heading in a directly south direction, 180 degrees. And we zoom out and have a look here at the window. You can see a shot of the east coast of New South Wales. Just give a little pan of the cockpit. Not much to do here at 30,000 feet. Might turn off for a while and then I'll come back when we get a bit closer to Launceston. So here we are at 30,000 feet and we're on our way to Launceston, Tasmania. Got a pretty nice blend happening here now. You can see I'm operational within the sim itself. We've got our auto throttle happening here. No radio bay operating at the moment, but our CDUs are active. All our screens are up and operational, and I have my trusty little iPad with the Oz Runways application running here as well. So we've got a pretty good system happening at the moment. Just wanted to show you the, here we are heading off across the pond to Tasmania, and this is the very bottom of the coast of Melbourne. You can see on our PFD, we're coming up to Flinders Island off to the right hand side. A little bit further down the track, and you can see on the screen here there's the bottom of Australia, and that's just as we've gone across the going across the bight here. Off to the left, all we've got is water, of course. But yeah, there goes the coast of Australia behind us. We're currently doing 290 knots and we're at 30,000 feet. Our ground speed is actually 442 knots and true airspeed of 442. You can see I've set up some fixes here. These are very handy things to do. I've got a 50 mile fix there, 30 mile fix and a 15 mile fix, because I'm just going straight to the airport 32, the runway at 32 left. You can see on that that inner ring, the 15 mile ring, you can just see the end of the airport. If I just make that a little bit larger. So yeah, I'll probably be doing a manual route when I get to the deceleration point there at STH or south or whatever it is, and then we'll do a manual route from there. Okay, just another update. We're getting close to Tassie now. You can see, and on our screen we're only about 6 nautical miles away from our waypoint of Sunob. And if we have a look on our little map here, we can see that our indicator is telling us that we should be passing over St. Helens, which is STH, in about 81 nautical miles. So we're not that far off. So getting pretty close. Okay, that's the update. So here we are coming up on St. Helens, our waypoint here. Once we hit St. Helens, we'll be doing a right hand swing across to Launceston. But as you can see, there's the tip of Tassie. So we're just making our descent at the moment down to 10,000 feet, and we're about 34 nautical miles away from St. Helens. So here we are, we've just turned right on from St. Helens, which is back here. We turned right and we're heading towards Launceston now, which will be our final destination. You can see that we're on manual now, with a heading of 217 degrees, heading for the 15 mile fix that I've put in the CDU there, which will get us on to a final, a 15 mile final. So we're currently doing 217 knots, and by recollection here, 43 nautical miles and we'll be into Launceston. So you can see the beautiful Tasmanian coast there. Absolutely beautiful. All Orbic's beauty. Well, now this is something special. We're coming into Tasmania, into Launceston here. We're cutting through the hills here. You can see on my VSI, we're sort of skirting between the big pieces of rock here, and Lornie's just over to our right hand side. So we're trying to line up a 10 mile final here. But yeah, coming through those mountains was quite amazing. And you can still see we're not through them yet. We're getting awful close. You can see on our little map, we're coming up to the end, the threshold of the runway. So we won't be very far away. I'd say Lornie might be just over there. So we're dropping back to 200 knots, 3,000 feet, and in actual fact I'm going to drop it down a little bit lower than that. I'm going to drop it to about 2,000 feet, and that is really, really amazing. Just beautiful. Then throttle is hunting away. I'm going to have to do something about that. Needs a bit of a calibration. I can drop the speed back now to about 190, 180. Slow it down a bit because we're going to be doing a right hand turn very shortly. Gear down, and we're on a 10-mile final length. And I'd say she's just over there. We're just pulling into our bay at Launceston. Pretty crappy landing, but I'm still getting the hang of all this stuff. And of course all my gear still needs calibration, especially these rudder pedals. They're terrible. And the brakes are not the best either. There's our little man walking around there. So you can see that's morning.